All right. I guess I'm about as mm, yeah, I believe I'm about as ready as I'm going to get for today's show. I discovered what's the one thing you should never do right before a live stream? Update your computer. Yes, if your computer has system files that need to be updated or updates that needs to download, uh, don't do it. Because that just takes more time for it to do stuff when you have more important things to be doing. But anyway, all that is over and done with. My computer's been updated. I'm able to hop online and do what I need to do and all that jazz. I'm coming off a particularly chaotic. Past few weeks have been pretty chaotic for me, and last week was no different. So here I am, kind of winging it for today's comic book live stream. It's planned unplannedness, if that makes any sense. Basically, I am going through. I've been going through a box of goodies that I've well, a long box of oddball comic books I got from a friend of a friend of a friend, that sort of thing. So I've mixed that in with some other books from past comic book live streams, and I'm kind of going through and doing the one thing comic book collectors hate doing, and that is getting bits of scotch tape and taping up the flaps on the books after you put them in new bags and boards. But other than that, that is what I'm going to be doing for today, sharing and chatting about some oddball books here and there that I've picked up over the years. Let's see, what am I doing? I'm doing this right here, and I'm doing that as well, I do believe. Let's see. As I get the piles of stuff on my desk in a somewhat organized order, I want to thank you all for joining me today, whether you're live, you're lurking, or you catch me on a replay. Oh, first one out of the gate, joining us on this Saturday afternoon, Tina the Naughty Dragon. Hello, everyone. Just woke up feeling dopey from allergy medication. How you doing? I'm doing pretty well. Yes, yes, allergies, our airborne adversaries. Oh, I know that all too well because it seems like allergies keep getting worse and worse every year. It is odd that depending on the day of the week almost, I can feel how much allergies are in the air. As I get a quick drink of tea before I start the show here. Let me see what I want to do. I want to do this right here. And then, pa-ba, I'm going to do this. All right. So some of these oddball books I've had from previous live streams, it's just I've got like a little roll of scotch tape here. And I want to like just bend the flaps over, tape them down before I stick them in a box. Now these are kind of neat. That is something different. That is something different. That's different. This is Marvel's Collector's Edition presents Spider-Man, brought to you by Charleston Chew. This is one of those books you get when you get like a dozen candy wrappers and you mail them into Marvel or whoever, and they send you a comic book. That's what this sort of thing is. In this little stack of stuff, I have some Thundercats from Wildstorm Studios. Yeah, the Battlestar Galactica. Those are some particularly old books. Those some couple of loose ones from my childhood. And I was looking at these and I pulled them out of a long box thinking it's well past time to put these in a Mylar bag and kind of preserve them, because this poly bag is all kinds of wrinkled. Let's go ahead and here we go. 30-year-old or 40-year-old Scotch tape. A well-worn book. Let me open this up here and make sure it doesn't have anything scribbled in it. No, nothing scribbled in it. But yeah, you can tell the age of this. Battlestar Galactica, Marvel Comics Group, issue number 5, 40-cent cover price. Let's see here. Publishing. Does it have a date? Oh, here it is. Volume 1, number 5, July 1979. Stan Lee presents Battlestar Galactica. Let's see. Roger McKenzie, Walter Simonson, Klaus Janson. Novak lettering, Wayne coloring, Alan Milgrom, the editor, Jim Shooter, the editor-in-chief. Got that good old newspaper, newsprint, coloring. These old comic book ads that you can only find in old books from the 70s and 80s. You got some very good old school artwork right here. You can tell the wrinkle. It has been read, and reread countless times. Condition shows it. Old school Battlestar Galactica and a very old poly bag that was going in the trash. Same thing with this guy. There we go. 30, 40-year-old Scotch tape being ripped open. As my camera tries to focus on it, issue 14. Oh, look at that. These ads are something else. Yeah, for you two can send away for little gifts and gimmicks from Fun Factory. I don't even know if this company's around anymore. I wouldn't think so. Yes, you two can send away for cool stuff, cash prizes, of course, send away with your parents' permission and all that. This is crazy. We got old school full page ads for King Conan, savings certificates. So yeah, right off the bat, these are getting bright, shiny Mylar bags and boards. Yeah, Tina the Naughty Dragon saying, now I want to dig out my Battlestar Galactica DVD box set. Yes. Old school Battlestar Galactica. All right. A little bit of my child. It's nice how Mylar makes everything just pop. Cover artwork. Tina's saying sea monkeys, pepper gum, X-ray glasses, and so forth. Yes, those gag gifts and gimmick gifts. That when you were a kid, you absolutely believed those things were real. Set that. I'm going to set this aside because I'll go in my old box of childhood comic books. These are some oddball stuff here. Like everybody has. If you collected comics in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, that period of time, you're going to have a little collection of old books from your childhood. There we go. That's a pretty cool looking cover, actually. I like covers where you can just, it tells a story. You get a sense of what the book is about just by looking at it. These are going to go stage left. There we go. Excalibur. I covered these books on a previous live stream, so all I'm going to do now is just do a little bit of tape, close the flap, and they'll be ready for storage in a brand new comic book box. Excalibur #1 is going to be, I'll set him right there against my main monitor. Got a little bit of Scotch tape, so I got to make it last. So I hope everybody out there is doing well today. It's another nice, calm Saturday afternoon. It's the kind of weather where I am that is cloudy, overcast. Looks like it really wants to rain, but probably won't. It's good sleeping weather, to put it that way. It's the kind of weather you kind of get a good book, lay out on the couch or sofa, and just read a little bit, then conk out, sleep until dinner time, get up, do some stuff. It's that kind of weather, that kind of day. Tina asking, I'm curious, you have an estimation of how many comic books you own? About maybe a dozen short boxes and 3 or 4 long, 4 to 6 long boxes, but I don't own what I used to. I've downsized over the years. It's the sort of thing that I'm going through my house looking for certain books, thinking, okay, where's this book at? Or where's these books? And I can't find them. It's like I know I've owned these books, but they have disappeared over the years. It's like when you lose socks and the dryer. It's like I know I've owned this, I just can't find it now. Now I've been running into that sort of situation, and it's like it's kind of strange. What can I do? What can I say? I want to blame CERN. Yes, that's it. The Super Collider. That's the Mandela effect. It's like every time they do something, something changes, like Jif or Jiffy peanut butter changes spelling or whatnot. And CERN fires up the Super Collider and comic books disappear. Yeah, that's a good explanation. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. It's crazy. But it's the sort of thing. Well, you move. You move like 3, 4 times during your lifetime, and things get misplaced, things get lost, and it's like I don't have these books anymore. Where did they go? Okay, what I'm looking at right now is Thundercats #1. I have 1, 2 and 3 of 5 issues. So I don't have 4 and 5, but this is, might have 2,000, 3,000 comic books and my own little collection. Thundercats #1, written by Ford Little Gilmore, pencils by Ed McGuinness, inks by Jason Martin, colors by Chris Walker with Wildstorm, lettering by John Layman with Sergio Garcia. Thundercats, created by Ed Wolf. Let's check out some of the artwork in this book. We got some action going on there. We got the main team going. The artwork looks pretty decent, actually. This looks pretty nice. I don't know anything about the story. I'm going to I'll set some time aside to read these once I find or purchase issues 4 and 5 so I can have the complete run. Let's do this. I'm going to bit of tape. Oh, that's neat. That's within arm's reach. Okay. Previous Saturday show, somebody asked me, what is the oldest comic book I own? I'm going to set that right. I'm going to set that right there. I'm going to do these in order, then set them aside. Now, the oldest comic books I own are like Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner. I'm about to bust them out here pretty quick after I go through some of these. Now, at one time, I owned a lot more comics. Then, for a short period of time in the early 90s, I worked at a local comic book store in my hometown or near my hometown. And working at a comic book store certainly didn't help any attempts at downsizing at the time, but that was all right because I was having fun hanging out with friends, talking about comic books and comic book characters, who could beat up whom, like much like Wolverine versus the Hulk. See, Tina's saying, I know the glossy comics have colors. Yeah. This is, so now I'm starting to get into remnants of a long box I got from a friend of a friend of a friend sort of thing. And it's kind of like looking through them to see what this fella owned. I'm going to set that aside. Oh. Hawk the Slayer. This is pretty neat. I bought this when I found out there was a comic book miniseries, kind of sequel to that wonderful and amazing B movie called Hawk the Slayer. Has a wonderful fan base to it. I say it's an amazing movie because it's words can't describe this movie. It's some will say it's low budget, some will say it's cheesy. They might be correct on those, unfortunately, but it is a wonderfully fun movie. Set your expectations accordingly if you've never watched Hawk the Slayer. And this is April 2022, a couple of years back, issue 1 of 5 issues. So I've got to get 2, 3, 4, and 5 before I can enjoy this book. But I thoroughly love the movie. I have it on like VHS, DVD, maybe Blu-ray. Wonderful 80s soundtrack. Yeah, if you like sword and sorcery type movies from the 80s, you're probably aware of Hawk the Slayer. This is, what is this? So this is Dark Horse, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It looks like issue 4. And this is not bad. I'll preserve it in that bag because that bag doesn't look too bad. The Long Way Home, Part 4. Glossy print, glossy paper. Tina's saying that they're vibrant, but I love how the newsprint. Yeah, the glossy pages look nice and all. Oh, here it is. Part 3, Part 2. Different issue. Angel. Don't know. Yeah, there's something about the feel of the newsprint. But then the glossy pages, the colors just really pop. So I have absolutely no idea what this fellow was collecting. It's like somebody else's collection. You get somebody else's cast-offs. Like, here, I don't want these comic books anymore. You can have them. It's like, okay, thanks. So I'm looking through this long box, seeing what this fella collected. It's kind of a eclectic collection here. I haven't really dug into these. I liked the TV show Buffy. That was like a staple of the 90s, that period of time. I think I might have enjoyed the spinoff Angel a lot more. But Buffy was a pretty neat show. That might have been peak Joss Whedon. If you want to say, if you ever want to think about what was the peak of Joss Whedon's career, well, that was the start of it. I wouldn't say it was his peak. That's pretty neat. I'm going to set these aside because I want to make room on my desk for more books. Let's set them where they can fall over and cause the most damage and commotion. Yeah, Kazar is Tarzan wannabe, but it's still pretty cool. This looks like it says flashback across the top. So I don't know if this is like a reprint or if this is the actual comic books. I'm guessing it looks like a reprint because this looks pretty new. I would guess that Kazar, Lord of the Hidden Jungle, is a much older book. Volume 1, number 1, 1997. Yeah, this is too new to be anything important. I'm trying to find the splash page. It shows the artist, writer, letterer, and all that jazz. Get Wolverine. We get Kazar. Oh, I'm not seeing it. Usually they put it right in the first few pages, but I'm not seeing it here. The artwork looks okay. The artwork is serviceable. Yeah, I'm thinking this looks like a reprint. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Don't know anything about it, so it's a Mylar bag just for the heck of it. Special books, ones that I like or ones that might be somewhat valuable, they'll get a Mylar bag. Ones that are common, run of the mill, I'll get some poly bags. and rebag them in newer, cleaner poly bags. This guy, I have a number of these. There's some older Spider-Man one-offs from over the years that I've kind of collected that were kind of interesting. Let's see, which pile are they in? Where are they? They're not here. They're not. Are they here? As I'm flipping through books trying to find all the Spider-Men. Or are they behind me? And as I go through stacks and stacks of books, trying to find stuff because I've got, oh, it's silly what I have around me. It is really silly. Anyway, Spider-Man Special Collector's Edition, brought to you by Charleston Chew. I've got a number of these. Occasionally they will print stuff. Marvel would print stuff and put in like your local newspaper, like this Saturday edition, Special Collector's comic book. Get them while they last. Oh, here they are. They're right in front of me. They weren't to the side or behind me as I throw stuff all over my desk. Yeah, here we go. Here we go, right here. All right, so some of these I bought, some of them I got in the mail, some of them I found at comic shows. Ah, hello there, Lemon Pie. How are you doing today? So these very strange team ups, Spider-Man, Storm, and Power Man, battle Smokescreen. Free, which with the purchase of AIM. So yeah, get some toothpaste, brush your teeth, and then you get a free comic book. Or years later, if you go to a comic book show and dig through somebody's long boxes, and like this one here, I forget where I got this one, Spider-Man in the Power Pack. This one, I can't remember where I got this one exactly. The Great Rodeo Robbery, and it's Foley's shopping department store, Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk. So those are some oddball books from years back. All right. So I was trying to find this one for last week's show where I was talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and talking about all the shows. I mean, all the comic books that were might have been influenced by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. As Albedo Anthropomorphic Action Prototype Issue number 0, volume 0. So I have absolutely no idea if this came before Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or after Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. In the future of looks like 2013. LA is a rotten place in 2013. That's why I live in Tacoma, but that isn't much better. Name's Duckert, Rick Duckert. Yeah, they got the whole rip of Blade Runner going on there. (1983) Albedo and Contents, 1983, by Steve Gallici. Producer, printer, Mike Broca. Associate producer Scott Skidmore. Third printing. All right, so this is a third printing of this particular unusual book. Don't know anything about it, so I'm going to have to check it out, see if it's worth anything. Sometimes these oddball books might be worth a little something. And sometimes they're just common books. So he gets nice and protected in a Mylar bag. This was an oddball thing. This is a Valiant Vision starter kit. Number 1. I have opened this before to check it out. So I think I opened it, looked at it, and put it back. It's like, yeah, that's neat. You've got some kind of glasses here that are not 3D glasses, but let me see what they do. Oh, these are 3D glasses. Okay, that's neat. All right. So as I put these up to the I'm supposed to make that cover. I don't know if the camera is getting it or not. It might work. I have no idea. Yes, 3D vision for my webcam. Anyway, we get Solar Man of the Atom. We get a comic book. Cover by Neil Adams. Oh, that's a Neil Adams cover. Okay. That's cool. Valiant Vision poster by Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti. Written by Kevin Van Hook. And artwork by Bob Layton, Peter Grau, Evel Gauchette, Andrew Wendell, Stan Drake, Rodney Ramos, Scott Friedlander, color by Shanna Layton and Carol Van Hook. Presented in Valiant Vision. Yeah, it's a very small book, I guess, of poster art. Oh, yes. It's a patented process that enables the wearer to view three-dimensional space when looking at ordinary two-dimensional comic books. Okay, so yeah, it's like a gimmick. It's like all things from the early 90s, they were gimmicks. These glasses are to be used solely for the purpose of viewing Valiant Vision comic books and are not intended for use over extended time, looking into the sun, performing physical activities while driving vehicles or operating machinery. Let's see, they're manufactured by Chromatech Incorporated using the proprietary ChromaDepth 3D process. Ooh. Yeah, Tina's saying need to see through both lenses to get the 3D effect. People with one eye don't have depth perception. Yeah. Lemon Pie saying, there's the dragon. Yeah. So I didn't think my holding it up to my webcam would do anything. Maybe, I don't know. It's just one of the many silly things that came out in the early 90s when everything was a gimmick. Ooh, poster. Oh, there we go. Solar Man of the Atom. The heyday This was actually the heyday of Valiant Comics, and I love Valiant Comics. They were great back then. Then they were bought and sold, bought and sold. Valiant Vision starter kit. Oh, cover price was $2.95 way back when. Yeah, it's there was something happened when Jim Shooter and Barry Windsor Smith left Valiant. They started going downhill quite a bit, unfortunately, because they were great. I loved their books. People were going on and on about Image Comics and how great Image was, and oh, look at the art in this Image book. Isn't that art great? And then I'm holding up a Valiant book like Solar Man of the Atom, Exo Man of War, Archer and Armstrong, going, don't you want to read this? It's got a great story to it. The art is cool too, by Barry Windsor Smith. What's this guy? First issue collector's item, Mortal Kombat Blood and Thunder, based on the hit arcade game. Okay. I have absolutely no idea. I've looked at this a few times and kind of amused by it and kind of just set it back like, oh, that's nice. Malibu Comics limited edition. Unfortunately, we've got some nicks in the cover here. It is foil. It's got the embossing. So yeah, we're getting into the realm of the 90s gimmick. Number 1, July 1994. Glossy pages. Sharp, punchy colors. The artwork's not bad. I may have to look up Malibu as a comic company to see what they're all about. I've seen the name over the years, but it's like, who are they? What do they do? Are they still around? Kind of thin, really. I mean, that's not much to this. It's like, yeah, Mortal Kombat. We all know Mortal Kombat. Blah blah blah. Fight them. Would not expect much in the way of story here. This is going right back into its old poly bag. There we go. I'm going to take some of these now and set them aside to make room on my desk. There we go. And reposition my microphone here. All right. So oddball books again. I got, what is this? Lightning Comics Bloodfire #1. Explosive first issue. Yes, we've got the shiny multicolor foil cover. Well, it looks like more like shiny ink, silver ink, and then foil, red foil on it. So it's like Lightning Comics. I don't know who these people are. Plot script by Joseph Zykowski and John Mazig. Penciler and costume design by Julius Octavian Jackson. Inker Frank Parr. Letterer James M. Anderson. Colorist Joe Ziskowski, and probably butchering that name. Color assist Kelly Marshall. Editor Joe Z again. Marketing Stephen. So it's like a family affair, this book. Lightning Comics was born out of the desire to give you, the comic enthusiast, the very best entertainment, as well as highly sought after modern collectibles. Lightning Comics will never produce more than 250 copies of any book. creating a high demand for all our titles. We pledge not to reprint any book until after 2 years from the date of first printing. Wow. So there's only 250,000 of these. Okay. Artwork's not bad, I guess. Coloring, artwork. It's the sort of thing you would come to expect from a independent company. Okay, just out of the sheer novelty of this, and that there's only 250,000 of these, probably worth nothing. Probably worth every bit of cover price of $350, but I believe he's going to get a Mylar bag. Because some of these, there's a lot of books like this that came out in the early mid 90s. Everybody's trying to capture the success of Image and Valiant at that time. He gets set aside. And what is this guy? Oh, Star Trek's Walter Koenig with Dan and David Day. Raver #1, again by Malibu Comics. First fantastic issue, collector's special. Busting it open. Just because it's Walter Koenig, it looks like. What is that? It's not damaged. It just looks a little grungy in these areas, like the foil process didn't quite take. That is kind of odd. All right. Creator, writer, Walter Koenig. Penciler, Dan Day. Inkers, Dan and David Day. Tim Eldred doing the lettering. Interior color design, David Day. Interior colorist, Malibu Pack Rats. Cover artist, Dan Day. Cover color design, David Day. Cover colorist, Albert Caloros. Okay. April of 1993, #1 of 3 issues. Okay, so there were 3 issues to this. So very, very short-lived story. Art isn't bad. I don't know a thing about the character or what he was about. Yeah, okay. Just because it's Walter Koenig, he gets a Mylar bag until I find more information about it. So how's everybody doing out there? What, if you're a comic book collector, what is the oddest book you've come across? I imagine for many of us, we've collected comic books for decades. You've probably come across a good number of odd books here and there, like this one, Jackie Chan's Spartan X. This is an Image comic. Oh, Tina the Dragon saying, sorry, I need a nap. Good show and have a great weekend. Oh, thank you for joining today. Have a good nap. Have a great weekend. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out a spell. "29 pages of extreme in-your-face action. Part 1, The Armor of Heaven." So I know nothing about this particular book. It's not even taped. It's like the flap is folded in. All right, let's have a look at this. Oh, that is a big bug. Where'd that guy come from? Get another drink. All right. Rick Myers, the plot. Michael Golden, the writer and penciler. Armando Guild, the inker. Kenny Lopez, lettering and logo design. Michael Golden, the cover art. Kelly O'Graphics, cover color. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. Black and white art. Looks pretty decent. I know next to nothing about this book. So I'll put it back in its original bag. Carefully, and then put them aside. Maybe put a bit of tape on to keep the flap closed. All right. So I'm going to set him aside. Now I'm going to set him right there. All right. It's another oddball book. This is Adventure Comics Reanimator. Death is just the beginning. This is an odd book. Another Malibu Graphics Publishing Group. Adventure Comics, Aircell Comics, Eternity Comics, Platinum Editions. Okay, so this is an offshoot of Malibu Comics. Writer Stephen Philip Jones. Illustrations Christopher Jones. Cover painting Dave Dorman. I've heard that name before. Lettering by Joseph Allen. Yeah, for those of you who like horror movies and know the Reanimator series and the star behind it, this might be the sort of thing for people of the Reanimator show or Reanimator series. It's just another one of those books that honestly you'd probably find in a discount bin, kind of a niche audience, that sort of thing. Let's see. Mike Grell, Star Slayer, the director's cut. Windjammer. Okay, this I remember purchasing because at the time I was a pretty big fan of Mike Grell. He did a lot of Green Arrow books. Mike Grell, Shaman's Tears, Turok Dinosaur. Okay, yeah, this was a Valiant book. Now this was actually Windjammer, published by Windjammer, a division of Acclaim Comics, because Acclaim bought Valiant. I think I only have this one issue. This is when Valiant started, unfortunately, going downhill. They were not, like I said, they were not the company they were way back when. Mike Grell, creator, writer, layouts. S. Clark Haw Baker, finishing. Steve Haney, lettering. Rob Pryor, color artist. Mike Gold, the editor. So yeah, the art is pretty neat. The coloring's pretty neat. Story should be pretty good. I'll have to look into this, see what kind of run it had. And the poly bag is in not bad a shape, so it's going to go right back into the poly bag there. All right. William Shatner's Tech World. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Comic books based on the William Shatner novels of Tech War or Tech World. There's also a short-lived TV series based on the novels, what actually had William Shatner in it as well. I have the books. I've read them at least once. I go all the way through. Didn't think they were bad. They were all right. I kind of remember the TV show as well. One of the oddball things you come across, like, oh, this is kind of nice, kind of interesting. Taping these all down. There we go. All right. I actually remember some of these characters from the TV show. It's been ages, sort of thing. I'll probably have to go back and check out again to see if the series holds up. All right, more Malibu comics. We have Prime. We have Malibu Ultraverse. Elvin. Techno Comics. Oh, Leonard Nimoy's Primordial, and this is that. We have Dark Man #1, based on the movie Dark Man. Malibu Comics Battletech Fallout, based on the hit animated series. That's interesting. All right. Leonard Nimoy's Primortals with concepts by Isaac Asimov. Okay, let's bust this open. Okay. Oh, this is a pretty thick book. Well, thick for a comic book of that era. Based on a concept created by Leonard Nimoy and Isaac Asimov. Kate Worley doing the scripting, Scott Eaton doing the penciling, Ken Bruzenak doing the lettering, Mike Barrerio doing the inking, Zachary Lynch and Tony Kelly doing the coloring, and Hyung Choi doing the cover computer coloring. Okay, this looks interesting. The art is pretty neat in this. And I only have one issue of this. This is something, since it has both Leonard Nimoy's and Isaac Asimov's name on it, I'm going to have to look this up to see what the story was about. And yeah, good paper, good artwork. Techno Comics. Don't know anything about Techno Comics. March 1995, #1. And since I put Walter Koenig's comic book in a Mylar bag, this is going to get a Mylar bag as well. More so since it's Leonard Nimoy and Isaac Asimov. So that's unusual. There we go, right there. Set that on that pile, and this old poly bag goes in the trash. What else do I have here? Viz Select Comics, all color, bi-monthly, Gunhead, #1. Story and art by Kia Asamaya. All right. The early days of, I guess this was manga before manga became big in America. Sort of thing. I can't remember where I got this from, but I know I've read it a number of times. It's in fair condition. Newspaper style paper, color art. I know nothing about what a gunhead is. If this is related to Gundam in any way, I doubt it. The artwork looks neat. Say what you will about the differences between American or Western style art and then manga style art. Oh, Gunhead, the live action movie. Okay. So there was a movie and then there was a comic book. I'm going to have to look this one up to see what it's about. And it is it's an oddball size. This is not a standard size book. Nope. All right. Well, I may be picking up that little bag I threw away and put that safely in there. Or find another one to put it in. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. I want a little bit of music going here. There we go. A little bit of background music while I dig through these books. And my phone is going off. One thing, I try to silence my phone during live streams, but it's been here going off like crazy. Okay, that's all good. All right. Nothing of importance. Been at this now for an hour. Hope everyone is doing well out there as I go through another stack of some very oddball books. Sliders, #1 of 2, and then #2 of 2, based on the hit TV series. Yeah, I remember Sliders. I think I might have seen every episode of that TV show, and then it kind of went off the rails midway through. Interesting. Not going to set that aside. Caliber Comics, Legend Lore. I have absolutely no idea what this is about. Written by Joe Martin, art by Philip Xavier, inking by Jerry Foley, production by Caliber Graphics, editor Tim Parsons. 1996 Caliber Comics, and we have what looks like black and white art. Yeah, black and white art all the way through. Guessing sword and sorcery type stuff. The art's actually not bad. That's interesting. That's one of the, I guess, better oddball books. We're going to have to look that up to see what that's about. There's a lot of these independent companies from the 80s and 90s I know next to nothing about. All right. Doctor Who. Back when Doctor Who was good. All right. I'm going to give this a new bag. Doctor Who, first issue, first collector's item issue, beginning the Star Beast saga plus the Return of the Daleks. And we have the Tom Baker era Doctor. Everybody's favorite Doctor, Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief. Jen Salkrup doing the editing. Art director, John Romita, John Lord, Keith Williams, art assistants, Dan Crispy, production coordinator. Who are the actual artists? I've gone down the who did what. I have not seen the artists yet. Harry Candelario, Rob Corasala, Bill Felix, Maury Coramato, John Morelli, Barry Shapiro, production, Brenda Mings, typesetter, Dave Gibbons, cover artist, George Rosas, cover colorist, Andy Yonchus doing the coloring. Oh, here it is. Writers, Mills Wagner, art, Dave Gibbons. Oh, Dave Gibbons art. That's cool. That's neat. Okay. And it is what looks like 1994. So he's getting a nice shiny Mylar bag. Very cool. That's going into that pile right there. All right. Star Trek DS9 Malibu Comics Limited Edition. This is in pretty good shape. Well, I was about to say it was in good shape, but no, this has been, unfortunately, bent along the spine, which my camera can pick up. Interesting book. I have not read this. Artwork looks fair. It's not glossy paper, but it's not newsprint either. This is weird. Which looks like August of 1993. Star Trek Deep Space Nine, #1. Based on the hit TV series. Here we go. Mike Barr doing the writing. Gordon Purcell doing the penciling. Terry Pallett to the inking. And Patrick Owsley doing the lettering. So that's unusual. In spite of the condition, I'll go ahead and put it in a Mylar bag. I wish this one was in better shape because that one might be worth. I'll have to look that up to see if it's worth anything. So we'll set that one over there. These oddball books, Malibu, Prime. I remember when this one came out. I actually remember getting this one simply because the cover art was done by Boris Vallejo. That's the only reason I purchased this book. Was I liked Boris Vallejo. I like his artwork. I don't believe I've actually read this book. I'll probably make some time, maybe this week or next, to go through some of these oddball books and check them out. All right, what do I have here? Ooh, Frank Miller's Ronin. Let's move these aside. I'm going to set them right here. All right. This I know. I've read these before. It's Frank Miller. This was a pretty good series of his. July of 1983, published by DC Comics. Created, written, and drawn by Frank Miller. Colored by Len Varley. Lettered by John Costanza. So this is, if I remember right, the story is about a Ronin, or a samurai, who somehow gets transported from the past to a post-World War III dystopian future, and he has to fight to survive and all that jazz. A Ronin challenges readers with a violent vision of the future, some disturbing implications about the human condition of the present, and an unsettling stylistic departure in the art of Frank Miller. Those who expected a repeat of Daredevil, or who simply don't like challenges, may be disappointed or confused. Those who relish the opportunity to watch an artist take chances cannot help but be pleased. That is a little blurb by Steve Gerber. Chris Claremont says a splendid synthesis of art and story. One of the first and best books to fully exploit the possibilities inherent in the color format. I cannot wait to see what happens next. I look forward to seeing both author and story fulfill their considerable potential. So, high praise. This is something I'm going to go back and reread, honestly. It's been a very long time since I've read these particular books, so I'm going to go back and reread these. That's going to go on my reread pile. Yeah, the art is different for Frank Miller. Those are all pretty neat. Book 3, I'm guessing it's a 3-book series. going to set these aside. Let's see. Reread pile. Yep, right down here. All right. Something new and different out of a strange box of books. J.R. Tolkien, The Hobbit. I have never looked at this before, so this is the first time busting this open. I see. Unfortunately, it is book 3 of 3. Adapted by Chuck Dixon, David Wenzel, Eclipse Comics. For the first time, J.R.R. Tolkien's fantasy masterpiece is adapted into a fully painted graphic novel. Okay. Oh, this looks neat. Okay. I'm going to have to look for the other two because this does look really nice. Fully painted artwork. It's in nice condition too. I don't believe this book has ever been opened prior to me fumbling through it. So I'm going to set that aside and see if I can find the other two in equally good condition. Robotech. Number 1, number 2, Robotech Genesis, The Legend of Zor, The Legend of Zor. Eternity Comics, one of those oddball printers out there. Publishers. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, black and white art. Written by Bill Spangler, penciled by Tim Eldred, inked by Tim Eldred, and lettered by Tim Eldred. Cover artist Robert Chang. Black and white artwork. I don't know enough about the story to really go into this. I may look for like collected works of these, or to read up on the story to see what it's about. It's like oddball books like this I get from trades and whatnot. I never know if they're worth collecting or keeping. I'll put that in the check out later pile. Future Tech number 1, published by Mushroom Comics. You never know what you're going to get when you look in somebody else's collection. Wow, ooh. Boy, the colors just pop on this. Whatever this is. Swarm number 1, Future. Oh, I see. It's a flip book. Okay, that is a cover I cannot show. All right. Pencils by Perry Yim. Inks by Marco Galli. Written by Robert Lugibel. Lugobel? I don't know. Colors by Aaron Ricks. Cover colors Gene Jimenez. It's almost like it's got some kind of manga type influence to it. I don't know what to think of it. Mushroom Comics. Yeah, this has a manga feel to it all over. Don't know anything about the publisher. Probably safe to say they are not around anymore. Set that in the oddball pile. I'm running out of floor space around my desk. There it is. Free Comic Book Day brings you The Tick. New stories. All right. Fans of The Tick will probably enjoy this. Oh, there's a couple of books in this. Okay. So in this one bag, Superman, Batman, Dawn of Justice Special Edition. So yeah, these are some of the things you got from Free Comic Book Day. All right. There was the, of course, the Tick animated series, which is fun. There was that strange, short-lived Tick live-action TV show that didn't last very long. And then there was, I want to say it was Amazon Prime that did an excellent Tick TV show. 2 seasons. Left me wanting more. And then, yeah. Oh, these are neat. Gru, Dark Horse, Maverick #1, Sergio Aragonis, Gru the Wanderer. So that's like a new book. This is the older Gru #1 from 1985. Is that very odd Mad Magazine type style humor for the character. Think of an unstoppable, invincible swordsman, but is dumber than a box of rocks. That's Gru the Wanderer. Like whole armies could not stop him on the battlefield, but he could be easily outsmarted. A very fun read. These were Image books. So yeah, there was like a run by Marvel, and then Image, and then Dark Horse. So I hope everybody's doing well out there. I want to thank you all again for joining me today. Nothing really planned after a pretty chaotic past couple of weeks. Set these right there. Let's see. No graphic novel of the week for today's live stream. And go later on when I get close to ending the stream. I'll end the stream on the oldest comic books I own. Comic books from my childhood. Let's see. I hope next week things will be calmed down for me, that I will be able to get back to my regular schedule of Monday nights and Wednesday night live streams. I'll get back into sharing and reviewing some K-dramas I've come across. I was in a K-drama show hole rather, for the longest time, because I'd watched all the good ones that Netflix and Hulu had, and then they released some new ones that were quite enjoyable. So Monday nights, Wednesday nights, my regular times, except for the past 2 or 3 weeks when things have been crazy and I just didn't feel like being up for a live stream. Keep toying with the idea of doing a Friday show, but I just don't know what I would discuss on a Friday evening live stream, unless it's a gaming stream, unless I did a Friday evening gaming stream. Once I can figure out how to make games play on my Linux PC, or if I have to do the whole the game PC streaming PC routine. Any Sergio Aragonis fans out there are probably geeking over these right now. Gru the Wonder was a fun read, good for a laugh. Kind of a pretty good spoof on the Conan the Barbarian style adventurer trope. As the character traveled around with his dog, getting into misadventures and whatnot. There's a cover of him facing off against an army as they're fleeing, because nobody can beat him with a sword. He's like an idiot savant with a sword. These are going to go. There. All right. More oddball books. This one being the Neil Adams Skate Man, issue number 1. I think there was only one issue ever done with this, and it was kind of a odd book for Neil Adams. Don't believe he's ever done anything like that since. So this is truly one of those oddity books. I'll go right there. Defiant Comics, Warriors of Plasm. This book is this is what was it? Jim Shooter. Yeah, Defiant Comics was what Jim Shooter did after he left Valiant Comics. This is right after the first time Valiant Comics was bought and kind of rearranged. You had the original talent behind Valiant leave, and Jim Shooter went along and started Defiant Books or Defiant Publishing, The Warriors of Plasm. Yeah, creator, writer Jim Shooter, penciler Steve Ditko, inker Steve Lealoa. So you have something new and different, a completely different comics universe. Just because it's really odd and different, I'll go ahead and put this in a new bag and board, kind of help protect it. Very short-lived. I believe there was some things that troubled the company. I don't believe they stuck around very long, unfortunately. Going by memory. What is this? Fantagraphics book. The Doomsday Squad, featuring classic art by John Byrne. #1. All right, so we have story by Joe Gill, drawn by John Byrne, colored by Mark Wheatley and Catherine Mayer. So if you're familiar with John Byrne art, this is some of his artwork right there. It looks pretty neat. Don't know the story. This is one of those things I'm going to have to go back and reread in fair condition. This one's definitely getting a protective bag because this is one of the standout covers from my gimmick comic book stream when I was talking about gimmick covers of the early 90s. This is a glow-in-the-dark book. All the white stuff and the tongue and the red and green goo glows in the dark, so it could like hold it up to a lamp, turn out the lights, and it will glow. Just kind of neat. It's one of the better gimmick books I've seen from that 90s era. There we go. Keep checking the weather outside, looking out my computer room window, and it keeps looking like it wants to rain. Set those aside. All right. As the shininess freaks out my camera. Alpha Flight Special. That's the sort of thing where I need to tape down looks like 1992. Oh, yes, yes. Back when IDW had the ROM license. Free Comic Book Day. ROM Space Knight. #0. Plot and script by Chris Rayall and Christos Gage. Pencils, inks, and colors by David Messina. Additional inks by Michelle Pasta. Lettering by Sean Lee. IDW and Hasbro Entertainment proudly presents The Arrival of ROM. Okay, this is a different take from when Marvel had ROM. This is an older. I've got somewhere a near complete run of ROM. Maybe I'm missing a number of them, but this is what ROM looked like in the, what was this, 82? Let me see if I can't find a, for those familiar with the ROM toy and the ROM character, ROM Space Knight. A little bit of crossover with the X-Men. That was a well-read comic book right there. Almost to the point of falling apart. Some of my books I have are kind of falling apart in a pretty bad condition. I'm going to have to look this up now. I'm going to put this on my pile of books to check out and read to see what IDW's done with the character. New Mutants 100 with Liefeld cover art. This was a fun read. Batman vs. Predator, Dark Horse Comics and DC crossover. Batman vs. Predator 1, 2, and 3 of 3. That was pretty fun. Okay, checking out what I have here. All right. Getting to the old stuff now. Checking my time. I gotta check my time because I gotta be someplace inside of an hour. All right. Now to slowly wrap things up for today. One of my past comic book live streams, I had somebody comment and ask, what are the oldest books I own? That's these guys right here. Whitman Comics. Daffy Duck #1 right there. Well, that's not #1. That is there's actually no issue number on that. Yosemite Sam and Bugs Bunny. Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Junior Woodchucks. Looney Tunes. Oh, there it is, number 39. Just looking at these again is bringing back all kinds of childhood memories. The Pink Panther, Gold Key. Yeah, here's some old Gold Key books. Tom and Jerry, number 320. Gold Key, Bugs Bunny. Huey, Dewey, and Louie, number 58, Gold Key. I'm honestly surprised these survived my childhood, my single-digit years. If only plumbing problems were that easy to solve. Donald Duck. Walt Disney's Comics and Stories. Let's see, what else do I have? Yeah. These old Whitman books were great. The Roadrunner. Oh, here's an old one. This is a DC book, Mystery in Space, number 113. I'm going to set him aside. Richie Rich. Richie Rich. Really old stuff, really old books. All right. Wow. Just thumbing through these is bringing back memories. So I set some of these here. Double checking some of these. All right. These are neat. So yeah, some of the oldest books from my collection. Whitman, Battle of the Planets. Look at that cover art. The colors just pop. A very old Godzilla, King of the Monsters, number 20. I read this book until it fell apart. Actually, this book I read until the cover came off. Let's see, a date. Where is the date? Oh, 1978. Oh, in the chat, I see Dad Man Walking. Hello there. Yes, this is an old Whitman comic. Oh, you oldest kid here visiting mom, so you can't stay. That's cool. They had a Battle of the Planet. Didn't know that. I'll catch it later. That's cool. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Yeah, this show's been about oddball books, and then I'm ending up the stream for today with some of the oldest books in my collection. This is an old Whitman comic book. Marvel, that's an old one. I'm going to set him there. X-Men number 50 with Steranko art. It's actually to the point where the cover has come off some. I actually have these little protective pages inside the book itself to kind of absorb the odors and stuff. Action Comics number 536. That's another one. Don't know if that's particularly valuable, but it's one I've collected from way back when. Space Family Robinson, Lost in Space, number 57. Yeah, I love the look and feel of these old books because Lost in Space, this style is, I don't know what you'd call this art style, 50s retro futurism. Then again, Whitman Books, Buck Rogers. Whitman Flash Gordon. Gold Key, Turok. Okay, these were the books that got me excited for Valiant. When Valiant came out in, what was it, 90, 89, 90? Because Valiant had the licenses for these old Gold Key characters like Turok, Magnus Robot Fighter, Dr. Solar, Man of the Atom, so yeah, I was enjoying these books as a kid. Then Valiant came along and re-released or released their takes on these characters, and I was really pleased by that. Let's see. Don't know if this is a particularly old comic. This is Marvel Comics, War of the Worlds, number 28, 25-cent cover price. Woof. Dell Publishing. That's a 15-cent cover price. Ghost Stories. Very old. Very cool, very old books. Let me see if I can organize these and comic book characters versus Looney Tunes. Let me set these back in the box they came from. So yeah, these are some of the oldest books I have. See, Buck Rogers, 11, 12, 13. Flash Gordon. Space Family Robinson, 56, 55, 57. Okay. This is neat because here is an old Battle of the Planets, and here's a newer Battle of the Planets. Actually, I like showing this one off because this is one of the best looking covers I've ever seen on a comic book. This is Top Cow Comics Image Battle of the Planets #1. It is so shiny, it is catching my webcam. The webcam cannot do this cover justice. It is a beautiful cover. I want to say this book was 1996, mid-90s, 96, 98, something like that. I forget. Alex Ross cover. It's like it's not chromium, but it's like shiny foil, and it is just beautiful. It catches the light and really pops. So yeah, nice little compare and contrast between the original Battle of the Planets and a newer iteration. Beautiful, beautiful book. I'm going to set these aside now, back in the box from where they came. All right. Mystery in Space. Books like this, you always go through their old stuff, and people always ask the question, like, are they worth anything? Are they valuable? It's like a book is only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. The true value of a book is in, for me, childhood memories. As I fumble around my desk, knocking stuff all over the place. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. This is neat. Second to the last thing I was going to show you. I thought the oldest books in my collection were going to be the last thing, but I thought let's end it on the Micronauts. Yeah, the Micronauts. I can end it on these. This was another book I really found myself enjoying way back when. Micronauts number 1, 1979. It was these and then Shogun Warriors I really dug as a kid. So you got one. Oh, this is what was this? King size annual. And then you have the first issue. And then issue 2. There's yet another toy line turned into comic book at the time. Issue 3, 4, 5. And then I skipped some and go from issue 5 to what is this? Issue 13. Issue 14. Then I skipped quite a bit from issue 15 to issue 57. And then I picked up, let's see, what is this? 1, issue 2. This is Image Books. 3. And then, oh, that'll be for another time. Yeah. The new run of Micronauts, issues 1, 2, and 3. And the old books. Yeah, these are some of the oldest books in my comic book collection. So I've been going on here about not quite 2 hours, but I'm going to start winding things down here. This has been very fun. I've quite enjoyed this. Let me see. I want to do this. And then that right there. Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank you all for joining me today. I almost said tonight. I'm used to live streaming at night, so I'm still getting used to daytime shows. Let's see who joined me tonight. First in the chat was Tina the Naughty Dragon. And then Lemon Pie popped in for a spell. And then Dad Man Walking. Very cool. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the stream as much as I have had going down memory lane. Going back to, starting off with some oddball books that I've picked up here and there, and then going down memory lane, checking out some old books from my past. And I just checked the time. It's about time for me to take off and do some other stuff in the afternoon. So thank you all again for joining me. Until next time, hopefully Monday evening or Wednesday, or next time I do a live stream. Have a great rest of your Saturday and great rest of your weekend. And tomorrow is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all out there. Shift gears with the music and see you all later. Have a great day.